Okay, so I'm Grasswalker. Hello and welcome back to the Dota 2 Bot Masters 2022. On the Radiant side today we have OpenAI Light Skillshots for you, and on the Dire side we have Armybots. Get this lobby going. From Group A, Armybots came third, which is why they're in the lower bracket, and they were awaiting the loser of a match in which Group C's OpenAI Skillshots lost. It was close though. OpenAI Skillshots, I mean,
Crystal Maiden.
They nearly won that match in the upper bracket, and to be honest, they definitely deserve to stay in the upper bracket. Armybots is going to have their work cut out for them this game. I'm interested to see how this game ends. I'm also interested about this game because of one thing, and that is that both sides are fixed team setups. Neither of them are comfortable picking multiple heroes. They have their very specific and strict 5-hero lineups. They stick to that. So we might have something interesting where these specific 5-hero lineups match up in a very specific way. What you usually see is Invoker mid, Like and Dazzle in the safe lane, and Beastmaster Enigma in the off lane. Very typical and normal and safe and reasonable lanes. On the other hand, you have Earthshaker Tiny, and now neither of these are the core. They share the farm together, which is fine. There's nothing necessarily wrong with it. You have Lina in the mid lane, very strong, solid, normal and stable. And then you have a Luna CM safe lane, which I feel like should be stronger than it ends up playing out to be. I feel like it doesn't end up being as good as it should be. I've never seen it end too well for OpenAI Skillshots. OpenAI Skillshots, of course, not being a bot that is designed to play a full game of Dota,
30 seconds to
it is a laning stage bot to help you if you want to learn how to play a support, or if you want to test your survivability in a heavy combat lane, to play against something that was designed to practice landing skill shots and get some statistics on skill shots. We have a 3v1 in the jungle. I'm going to count the Boar as a hero, but here comes the blast. It slows them all down. Luna, she hits really hard because she picked up the passive, but that means she doesn't have the stun, which means they don't have any catch. Enigma cheekily picks up that rune, and it looks like at the end of the day, the only outcome of that, I thought they'd farm the Boar, to be honest. I believe it's worth something like 30 or 40 gold. As well as a little bit of experience. On the other hand, Earthshaker's in trouble. The poison touches all over him. Oh, the Invoker steals it! What a cheeky little Invoker play he's done. That's beautiful. Oh, that's very exciting. So, for those of you that missed the group stages, you haven't seen Armybots play before, big up my group stage watchers because you know what I'm about to say. Armybots, they don't buy items, but what they do is they push. As soon as this 5-minute clock appears and a catapult summons here, they will deathball a lane. I'm not sure which lane, but they will deathball a lane and they'll try and take a tier 1. And then, when the next catapult appears at 10 minutes, they will deathball another lane. Armybots is so good about forcing pushes. It gets them killed, don't get me wrong. They will die all game long. But building damage is permanent unless you pick something like a Treant Protector. And they can get some very cheeky plays done. I mean, they got through the group stage. They won a game there. They crushed the medium bots. I'm pretty sure they won that game in convincing fashion. They also took 2 racks off of Edge AI in Group A, and Edge AI we thought were the favourites coming in. So when Armybots took 2 racks off them, we were thinking, wait a minute, is Armybots like a top 6 team? But no, Edge AI is just really bad. Because they're also down here in the lower bracket with Armybots. And, I mean, they just won the previous game, but they're right where Armybots is, so it's not like the win didn't age well, or rather the double raxing didn't age well. In terms of lanes, the off lane, we can see the Shaker and the Tiny sharing the farm a little bit. Shaker taking most of it so far. It must be tough for Tiny to get in there. Lina and Invoker. It's even Stevens over here. Lina wasting the LSA mid. I'm not sure why she did that. 9 and 2 to 7 and 3. Very even. Lina's about to get a benefit though, because Invoker has been forced to base. This is really quite bad though. Because watch what happens when the Invoker touches the base. Oh. Okay. Invoker didn't commit to going base. He's tangoed. Oh no, he's going to base! Okay, he's not going to base. Going back to lane. Full health, back to lane. Oh, okay. Heart preserved. Top lane we've talked about. Bottom lane, Luna is not farming well. I mean, CM has 8, Luna has 6. So in terms of the team, Radiant's getting more out of the lane. You've got a combined 14 CS against a combined 4 CS. So they're winning bottom lane, but the farm's not going to Luna, who you want it to be on. Denied. No one gives a shit if the CM has farm. Baker and Tiny still not finding the right balance to share this farm. Tiny, he looked like he wanted that one. Owl comes out. Denied. Got a cheeky deny from the Tiny. Quelling Blade would help him lane better. Oh no! He missed a kill. That feels quite bad. So, Beastmaster, he's got 300 gold. But watch what happens when he respawns. As soon as he touches that fountain... Oh, Dazzle's in really deep. Oh, Invoker's dead as well. It's a massacre across the map. Throw that tree. No, we're missing every kill. Lycan, he's under the tier 1. Surely we don't miss this kill. Tower shot, I mean, we miss it because it's not a kill. Lina, punching. Punching. Oh, she gets that uphill hit. Oh my. Kills across the map. Dazzle and Lycan both crawling back to base on low health. Invoker bags himself 14 TP scrolls. Lina gets a kill on the Beastmaster. 4 and 1. 20 CS for Lina. Also doing a cheeky little bit of jungling. I'm very happy about this. If only it was 7 minutes and she was looking for neutral items. Because as it stands, those spells would probably be best suited used on the Invoker. Also, just to de-push this wave, because that siege creep, this is the whole game plan for Armybots. They want to get that 5-minute wave, and they're getting this Lina. She's getting a little bit low. Enigma turns the enemy siege creep into Eidolons. LSA onto the Lycan. Lina still getting right-clicked. Tower hit by the siege creep. The death wall, it's kind of working. Radiant's not quite bringing enough heroes mid, and the heroes they have brought aren't attacking. They're so confused. They're like, what are all these heroes doing here? Beastmaster gets picked up on the sideline. Here comes a big Fisher. Shaker does most of the damage. Toss in onto the Lycan. It's barely any damage. Must be a level 1 toss. It was. I mean, everyone's only level 3 or 4 because it's only 5 minutes in.
One to many, many to one.
On the other hand of things, I mean, the Beastmaster died. It was so long ago we don't get to see where that was, but I'm trying to follow the action in the mid lane. We now have the OpenAI Skillshots. They've grouped up mid. Maybe they're going to get a bit of a push of their own. How much damage did Armybots do? About 1,000 damage from Armybots. It's looking to be about 400 damage from the Radiant squad so far. They do have the next creep wavers in. They've got a CM illusion tanking the tower. That helps. And it's looking to be about 1,000 damage apiece. As this tower defends itself from the creeps, but it's actually going quite a bit lower. 900. 150. Any lower? Maybe 800. Maybe 750. We'll keep an eye on the death ball. It's top. They've got a siege creep. I don't know where that came from. It's 7.5 minutes in. Is that how long it takes the siege creep to get there from the dire base? Lycan, he's way too deep. Sunstrike hits the Luna, double poison sting, Lina here, giant dragon slave, puts them all quite low. Dazzle about to die to the tower, and he does. Laguna gives the double kill to the Lina, she steps just out of the Midnight Pulse. I appreciate that cheeky dragon slave to try and get the Enigma. Misses it unfortunately. However, the siege creep and all the creeps have put this tier 1 to 480 health, and the story of how Armybots plays. Because I believe Armybots' KDA is the lowest in all of the teams that are currently in the tournament. I think it is 0.07. Armybots will finish a game with like 3 kills and 50 deaths because they will throw their bodies at the buildings. We're about to watch Dazzle throw his body away for not even a single right click on the tier 1. Just hoping that no Radiant heroes are there to defend to force this push. They were there, so he dies. However, Beastmaster's here. He's cut the wave, which means bot tier 1 is getting lower and lower. It's dying to creeps. The wave is cut, so the creeps have free reign to hit the tower. The man has no items. He has 14 teleport scrolls. But he's managed to kill a tier 1 bottom. And this is what Armybots does. We're seeing OpenAI in a game, if we look at the net worths, where they are 4 of the top 5, really far ahead. And they haven't took a single tower, there's barely any damage top. Good damage mid, there's barely any damage bot. But it's the Armybots, it's the team that's hugely behind, that's taken a tower, and is thinking about a tier 2! Like, the death ball is just here, and they're not going to stop. Beastmaster dies to the tower. Shared bounty to the Radiant heroes. But the Beastmaster, he died to the tower, which means the creeps are still alive, which means the death ball is here, which means they've done well over 1,000 damage to this tier 2 at 9 minutes into the game. Yeah, Dazzle's dying on the other side of the map, but who cares? It's the buildings that matter, and this tower's half. One thing to remember about Armybots is never think about how bad the current push is. Like, this current push is quite good, actually, but always think about how good the next push after this push will be. Because if this tier 2 does fall, it means the next Deathball bot is going to be looking at racks. And that is bonkers to think about. And this is how Armybots, I think it's how they surprised Edge AI, just the willingness to commit suicide to take buildings. The demonic conversion is already used, so this push is going to be a little bit crap. We will have Forge Spirits for it. Beastmaster's trying to push top, but he's just going to get Laguna'd, and this is the thing, right? You can only defend so many lanes. Lina, Earthshaker, and CM, they rotate top, they're like, oh, a push with a wagon. Let's go kill him. Problem is, now everyone's bot. And now the wagon's here as well. This tier 2's dead. 10 minutes in. Tier 2's gone. The death ball, it's worked. And now, it's always about the next push. How much damage are they going to do to a tier 3 at 10 minutes into the game? They have a wagon, they have Forge Spirits, they have the Enigma Eidolons. I wish Armybots built items. I wish we could see what this push would be like if they had a Buckler and a Blightstone, because that would revolutionize this push. Enigma tanking the tower so that the siege creep gets a couple more shots off, and he buys enough time for the next wave to get in. Yeah, Beastmaster dies up here, but we're not worried about that. The action of this game is right here. The action of this game is this siege creep as it dies. We've got another death ball. It's mid. They've seen that there's a siege creep mid. They see that there's a tier 1 still alive. They want it, but the enemy team's here. LSA on 2, tossing in the Lina. Laguna onto the Invoker. The machine gun of Lina. Ooh, the Grave. It's an uphill missile. It misses! Beautiful. Dazzle also just barely crawling away. The Radiant, they defend, but they don't get any kills. Siege Creep doesn't do any damage to the middle tower. I think Radiant will be happy about this, but they need to be careful. I mean, 500 damage on a tier 3, that means, say, 3 or 4 more pushes, this tower might be dead. Currently though, there's always something being pushed, and right now it's top. CM with the ult, Luna with the Eclipse. Oh my gosh, it's a massacre up here. Armybots, they don't have the levels or the items. I mean, Beastmaster, it's 28 TP scrolls and 2 dusts. Imagine if it was treads, 2 bracers, a buckler, and that's probably like your 3,000 gold there. Treads, I think, is 1,500. 2 braces puts it to 2,500, buckler puts it to 3,000. He's probably lost ult and death gold that he otherwise wouldn't have, because you're walking around with all of your money, so you lose that. Meanwhile, middle lane, Grave will end, but they get away with it again. Huge Laguna onto the Enigma. He shouldn't get away with it, and he doesn't. OpenAI has a chance now. A glyph! Oh, it's a cheeky little glyph from Armybots. You don't see other teams do that. You don't see other teams have the awareness to see that someone is pushing their tower and just glyph. But that's a dead invoker. As I praise them for one thing, they embarrass themselves with another, and hopefully OpenAI, having taken their first tier 1, is willing to do a bit of pushing now. Because they need to do pushing. Not base race pushing, but they need to do some kind of pushing. I would love to see Moonglaive skilled up from the Luna. Because, not now, but in the future, 4 points in Moonsglaives, and you try and push this high ground, get some Moonglaives bouncing around these barracks. Top tower did die. It's cost them their lives, but that tower will remain dead forever. That tower's not coming back. These heroes, they're coming back in 20 seconds. They don't mind. Enigma trying to push middle lane out a little bit. He's got the Eidolons going. Dazzle. And a bit of a heal as well to the wave. Oka. Laguna. What was the Laguna on? It doesn't tell me what the Laguna was on, but I feel like she Laguna'd something that did nothing. Because there were no heroes up there, so maybe she Laguna'd a Forge Spirit. Here's your cheeky little mid push. 6 Eidolons, Dazzle and Enigma. It melts this tier 1. Unhealable damage. And that building's dead.
Radiant's middle tower.
They should probably back off here. The 2-man LSA. Dragon Slayer puts them to half. But, you know, she has machine gun strike. She built a Shadow Amulet. I don't like that. That's not going to help you this game. Aether Lens, great for D-push. Maybe even, I'm trying to think what you could, Shivas or something? Like tank up, get the big AoE. I mean, the Death Ball's here, they killed CM. Luna's here, she's tossed in, but Luna's gonna die! The Death Ball's a little bit too Death Ball-y. Oh, it's a huge Echo Slam! The Shaker, he's the MVP of the whole game. There's the triple, give him the quad kill. Someone send him bot lane, give him the arm page. You know, he's just gonna settle for the triple. Invoker here, pushing with the catapult, trying to be a little rat bastard. 700 gold for the Earthshaker. Oof. Moment of peace. All of the die heroes respawning. You've got Dazzle pushing top with the siege creep. You've got Invoker pushing bot with the siege creep. Objectively, you can defend both of these pushes, don't get me wrong. Nothing is stopping them from defending both of these pushes. However, realistically, are both pushes going to be defended? It looks like bot is being cleaned up now. Tiny's here. Ava, that's the creep wave. Toss in the CM. She's got the ult. A little bit of teamwork. He's running through the ult. He will die. A little bit of teamwork has cleared up one of the pushes. Now let's give our attention to the other. You've got a siege creep. You've got 3 waves. You've got Eidolons. You've got the boars. You've got 4 heroes. All of them are here and they are about to start crushing. This tier 2 top tower. Will they take the whole thing? Have my doubts. Will they take most of it? I'm pretty certain. I mean, Radiant has a glyph. The tower's dead. I mean, without the glyph being used, this tower is dead. I thought they'd glyph it and, like, that would be the end of it.
Radiant's top tower has
But
fallen.
Armybots! Armybots getting it done! And I can't help but root for them because it's the underdog story, right? Like, they're so stupid. They don't build items. They've got 3 kills on the board. They're not trying to play a normal game of Dota, but here they are, taking a Rax.
Regeneration.
And what else is happening on the map? I mean, Invoker's pushing mid, so that's a little bit cheeky. Bot's cleaned.
Yes.
Tiny and Lena look like they want to kill Invoker, but it's not the right thing to do. You need to get back here and defend your base. Invoker's cleaned up, but it doesn't matter. He's just going to respawn in 30 seconds. You're not delaying any items. You're not causing him any problems. Tier 3's dead!
Radiant's top tower
Now
has
they're
fallen.
looking to Rax.
Shadow wave.
I mean, if they get this Rax, it could be all over for OpenAI. I don't know if they have the intelligence to defend properly. I mean, they're not defending right now. You need to get in there. Shaker, just go. They're not going to stop you.
Radiant's top
They're so
barracks has
bad.
fallen.
Vicious missed. Come on, just echo them all. It's 4 heroes. It's such an easy cleanup. The creeps, the catapult. It's going to get the Rax.
Dark light.
Oh my lord, Armybots getting it done against all odds. Against all odds. The Cian, she ults. But the Rax have fallen.
Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
It doesn't matter. They've got it done. Oh no. OpenAI, you poor beautiful little creatures. They don't even really lose anything for it. It's just the Enigma. And now, got the other push, bot lane. They're looking at this tower. They can see that it's wounded. Tiny and Luna, they're struggling to get a push going. The Glaives, they are bouncing, but I mean, she's failed to build a drum. This isn't going well for OpenAI. I think Armybots is loving the state of this game. The graph doesn't really matter. Like, there's no point looking at the graph because Armybots doesn't have an economy. 41 TPs on Beastmaster, 45 TPs on Enigma, 44 TPs on Invoker. They don't have an economy. They're just itemless half creatures. And he gets the Ava onto Enigma. I'd prefer if he just killed him. Thankfully, they're a bit more on the ball. They're like, oh shit, we got Raxed earlier. Here they come. Blast, clean out the creep wave. Shaker with the slam. Instantly kills that Lycan. Now he's on the chase. Phase boots activated. He is a little bit faster because the Invoker doesn't have boots. But he's a lot faster. Oh yeah! Double kill for the Shaker. A beautiful cleanup for him. 14-1 on the Shaker. 11-0-6 on the Lena, but still haven't taken a tier 2 mid. Meanwhile, Super Creeps and the Super Siege Creep are looking like they want to start taking tier 4s. The Death Ball's mid, it's got catapults. I'm constantly baffled by Armybots' ability to just get a lane shoved in. I could not imagine in a pub to be 3, 4, 5-man wiped and have multiple lanes shoved in all the time. The scoreboard to look like this. I mean, Lycan's dying down bot, but there's too many people down here. The tier 4s, they're beginning to take damage. The tier 2's dead.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
The buildings, the little sort of like background buffer buildings, they're dying too. So much building damage is being dealt. Okay, he's slowing them down with the Ghost Walk. Laguna onto the Dazzle. Here comes the Eclipse. That's going to clean up all the heroes that were pushing mid, but it's not going to clean up the melee Siege Creep, sorry. Siege Creep does eventually die to the tower. But you've lost 600-700 health on the tier 4. You've lost 700 health on the tier 3. Mid tier 2 died, and all of your little 3 buildings and shrines and things like that, they're all dead too. It's an absolute disaster for the Radiant side.
Regeneration.
In the scoreboard, you would never imagine if you looked at this scoreboard with a 10k lead that Armybots is winning this game. Finally, OpenAI, they're like, this has gone on too long. We need to push mid, and they're pushing mid. They get the tier 2. The glaives are bouncing from the dazzle to the beast. Oh, he one-shots him on the Earthshaker. He's beginning to understand just how far ahead he is. The slam and the double kill. It's beautiful from the Shaker. And now the Shaker willing to push the high ground, or is he? I mean, if you get a reverse racks mid, that's a good time, but someone needs to come bot. Look at what's happening bot. You've got the wave. Oh no. They tried to bring him over for the outpost. They are going to send him back that way, to be fair. You've got a couple heroes collapsing on bottom. How much damage can be dealt? The starting health, 2,000. Where's it going to end up? No damage has been dealt yet. CM just ults to clear everything out. Luna's here. Easy kill on the Lycan. The other 2 heroes, they're running in. And it's a massacre and 0 damage was dealt. That tier 3. Meanwhile, about 700-800 damage was dealt to the enemy mid-tower. You're still a racks behind. Oh no! Here comes the damage! There's like 25 damage. The creeps just run in. Bonked it a little bit.
Yes.
Oh dear. OpenAI skill shots. Being a little bit sloppy. Got Atos on the Lena. Got Ogreax, Talisman, Shadow Amulet. God knows what that's gonna be. Oh, okay, I see. They're doing Halberd. They changed Halberd recently to need a recipe, and I hate that. The game should move away from recipes as best it can. Everything should be combinations of items, in my opinion. The only downside with that is you sometimes accidentally build something that you didn't mean to. So maybe everything should have a recipe, but the recipe should be like 1 gold or something. Luna, looks like she wants to push out bottom. There is a tier 1 available to push. All of the lanes are in a good position. Mid, it's quite deep. Top lane, it's not in the base. Bot lane, it's getting closer to this tier 1. The Fisher, though, causing a problem. Earthshaker, what are you doing? He's griefing his team. Tiny, your dedicated D pusher. Nearly finished his BKB. I'd love to see him skill his ultimate. It's a great skill. I'd also love to see him pick up like an Aghanim shard for the cleave. Just to make sure that these creeps never push in. Mid-wave. They're in with it. There is a siege creep. They use the glyph to fortify the tier 1 bottom. The tier 1 bottom is dead. Are they going to come back to defend their middle tower? I wish I was on the Radiant side so I could glyph this tier 3. Because I have a feeling they're not going to. CM with 2 illusions. Can she be the D push that's needed? Are they ahead enough on gold? Here comes the freezing field. She's invis. They can't see it. She's clearing out the whole push. She's got 1 kill. She's got 2 kills. Here comes the Tiny. Have a thing. It's a 5-man wipe. And yeah, they got like 100 damage down, but it's a massacre. That gives the other 3 the confidence to move forward with this siege creep. Tier 2 down. This might be the turning point. You've got that 1 Rax. You got it at like 20 minutes, but I don't think it was quite good enough. I don't think it was quite enough. Luna is accidentally pushing with this bouncing of the glaives. I wish they just man up. Just man up. Just man up. Just man up. Just man up, please. Keep the siege creep alive and just man up. Because if you let this siege creep die, you're going to throw away your whole push, and they've let it die. The creeps were right there as well. Everyone's alive again. Oh dear. So almost no push comes of it. They get the tier 2, they get 350 damage on the tier 3. Someone might have to come back and defend. The tier 4s will defend themselves for a while. will eventually crumble. Sonj. Crystal Maiden's stash. Luna comes back. Use your base defender. Never mind. Oh, hey, what? Yep, there we go. There's your base defender. Oh, never mind. All the towers did most of it, but the Luna was present. However, I mean, every time I look at the minimap, I'm like, oh shit, there's a death ball. Then again, tier 3 mid, if they can get this, if Tiny would just go pick up a tree. Oh, please. Just keep pushing, just spam something. Because you need to outrace this death ball. Armybots, they have no preservation.
Regenerate. Dire structures are
You can
fortified.
also push with the enchant totem. No, this death ball, it's huge. CM, she sees it, but she's in a worse position this time. I think she might just get nuked. Oh, it looks like they are. They don't have items, but it's not needed. CM's dead. If CM's dead, who's going to defend? Is this going to be the second Rax of the game? They got 2 Racks against Edge AI. They did end up losing anyway. Eclipse might get popped. BKB, that's huge. But it's 4 heroes right-clicking the tower. It gives a benefit. Please just click the glyph and change everything. Luna, she's manning up, but the BKB, it just ran out. Looks like they're trying to get that ranged Rax first. Ooh, the pull under the tower.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Invoker, he does die to the fountain. So does Enigma, it looks like.
Dire's middle barracks.
This might be all that Luna needs to clean it up. I mean, she's still full health. The range Rax has died.
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
Luna cleaning it up if she can. She does. She gets that triple kill all by herself. But
Hungry, Nova?
the Rax is done for. Then again, I didn't see it, but the mid Rax. A favourable trade for the Radiant. A full lane of melee and ranged Rax mid in exchange for just the ranged Rax bottom. So this is a huge improvement for OpenAI. Although, the boars have been left behind. Now I don't think this Rax is going to die to creeps. Because obviously this area is going to spawn some creeps now. However...
Invisibility?
Maybe? I think that range creep just got murked.
Money to burn.
Yes.
Actually thinking about it, I mean, this siege creep's going to tank for a long while. Or will expire now, but the damage might have been done. I mean, the wave equilibrium is so messed up. There's like a whole wave worth. Okay, the Earthshaker's going to come clean it up. Thankfully. Oh, Lena is getting an absolute massacre mid. Here comes the big, like, mid push for OpenAI. They've already got the melee racks. They've got one of these super siege creeps. Can't click the super siege creep. 6 damage. Now they just need to start hitting buildings, which it looks like. Oh, turn around for this. Tiny uses his last bit of the tree top. I can't click anyone, my accuracy's so low. I hope that they push with this. I mean, Luna, if she just starts hitting stuff, the glaze will bounce everywhere and it'll be an absolute monstrous push. Luna just stops right-clicking. She just sort of puts one glaive around and they leave. Oh, I hate it. It's cursed. Okay, now Luna's hitting stuff. Now Luna's really hitting stuff. This feels good.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Luna doesn't quite have BKB, but I'm not sure if it matters. Laguna pops the dazzle. Well, the lack of BKB, it does matter. The gold snap, it finishes Luna off. And now Lena finds herself in a weird place because she's out of mana. She does have 7 fiery souls. I think she just needs to right-click that Beastmaster. A lot of uphill misses. I think she missed 3 or 4 in a row there. In the end, though, cleaning that up, Earthshaker, he's pushing bot. Crystal Maiden, she's pushing top. Tiny, he's standing in the river. Lena, 1v the world. killing off the Invoker first, manages to get him, doesn't want the same fate as the Luna.
It's not the heat, it's the
Now
humiliation.
she's killing off the Lycan. She's attacking like a machine gun over here. Now let's say off the mark, but it keeps the attack speed up. Triple kill for Lena. Now she moves on to the Dazzle. A couple of right clicks here and there. Puts the Atos on him and he's gonna grave. If you time one attack to follow him just right. Fisher onto the creeps. It looks like they're pushing bot as well. Lena will eventually die to creeps. God like 10 times spree. Goes to the Enigma. Wait, Enigma bought something.
Dire's bottom
Midas.
tower has fallen.
That's the thing, right? I think I've figured out what some of these bots do, because I think 4 or 5 bot scripts don't buy items, they just buy TPs. A couple of them I didn't invite to this tournament, a couple of them I let through. Armybots, because they push. Like, they can actually win games, and the defending bot major champions, Extreme Push. Also, I didn't realise Extreme Push was quite as bad as it was. Tiny, manning up with the BKB. Interfere this thought of how TP scrolls work whilst we watch the Tiny get picked off. It's 5v1, and they do get him in the end. No melee racks, just 1 tier 4 and a ranged rack's bottom.
Top tower has fallen.
They get the tier 1 top, but I mean it's getting a bit awkward now. You've got 2 dead heroes. So, moment of peace. I figured it out, I had an epiphany, I understand exactly what's happening. Somewhere in the bot script, back in the old days, TP was an item that went in your inventory, one of your 6 slots. Therefore, there's a script code somewhere, there's a line which is like, if you're in the fountain and you do not have a TP in one of your 6 slots, buy a TP. And the bots, they get to the fountain, they have enough gold for a TP, they see in their 6 slots they don't have a TP, they try and buy a TP. It goes to the TP slot, they don't know what that is. That was only added at some point recently. I say recently, it's like 3 or 4 years now, but these bots were last updated 5 years ago. Then, because they don't see the TP, they just keep buying TPs. And they never get one in the end. Lycan, he's armleted up. They are doing a deathball mid. I mean, this could be the game potentially. If you get megas, it's all over. Lena, she's not defending properly. I don't know what she's so afraid of. You could massacre them all.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
And no one else is doing anything. The Shaker, the Luna, and the jungle. Tiny's in the triangle. CM's pushing top, but it's the racks are falling. Oh, OpenAI Skillshots, please. Please just come and defend your base. Click the glyph. Do anything, I beg you. Because these racks are falling in slow motion. It's not like they're falling quickly. They've had all the time in the world. The Earthshaker, he turns up now, but it's too late. Lena throws out the Dragon Slave, but the racks are gone. The only thing that's left is this melee racks. Echo on a single creep! No! What's going on? Tiny, he's chasing him, he tosses the Lena in, Laguna onto the Invoker, but it doesn't matter. It's not even a good trade. Luna, she ults, she's gonna take out the Dazzle, but it just doesn't matter.
This'll come in handy.
She's likely to find the Beastmaster too. Avalanche, it will clear out. The Enigma, almost. Dragon Slave, just off the mark. I mean, if OpenAI Skillshots doesn't rampage mid and end the game, they're gonna lose. It's too many racks. It's just too many racks they've lost. They've lost top, they've lost mid, they've lost half of bot, they've got mid, they've got half of bot, but it's not good enough. And the heroes, they're respawning in about 15 seconds. They have double siege creeps. Crystal Maiden also pushing double siege creep, but Crystal Maiden's been pushing top for like 8 minutes. It's not getting anywhere. Here comes the push. It looks like they are gonna get this bottom melee racks. Oh, the glyph! Armybots, they have such great glyph usage because it pisses up Crystal Maiden's push. It just sort of slows down the other push. Oh my god. This game is so good, but it's so bad. It's infuriating. Luna, please. Yes, no, do not turn around and hit just 2 creeps. End the game, please, I'm begging you. You've got 4 heroes mid, you're so far ahead, it's a 30k gold lead. Look at this graph. Please, you can do this. You can end. OpenAI. They're thinking of doing it, they're hitting the tier 4 for the first time, they have all 4 heroes hitting something. The fountain, it's exposed. They Laguna a creep, why? And then they run away! The throne's exposed, but they're not gonna finish. Oh no! Wait, they're turning around with the creep wave. They're running in. They can see it's a 4v5. Crystal Maiden, what are you doing? There's a death ball, it's coming bot. They want the remaining bot racks, but that means that no one's in the base, which means you could end this game. I mean, the creeps will probably do it. The death ball, it's way too slow. Oh, and OpenAI gets it. Oh my gosh. What an absurd game to have witnessed. I'm so glad to have had you here with me, the viewer. Wow. OpenAI grabs the win. 3-2 in this tournament now. Armybots showing life. 2.5 racks, this close to Omegas. They balled up for one final death ball bot. But that was the moment that OpenAI said, enough is enough, we're going to push and end this game. But the MVP, it's hard to call. I mean, it's a little bit of everyone from the Dire side, because they all just did the exact same thing. The best KDA on the map is the Enigma, involved in 5 kills with 10 deaths, but I think we're going to check the push damage before we decide an MVP. The building damage goes almost entirely to Beastmaster and Enigma, which makes me certain I will give the MVP to Enigma on the Dire side. On the Radiant side, however, you got Lina 33-1. The Earthshaker had such beautiful plays early and then kind of stopped playing. The Luna, she didn't push properly. She made me so mad I can't give her MVP. Crystal Maiden sort of AFKing top lane. She did a great job D-pushing, but not involved in the game enough to get it. Tiny, some great tosses, but I think Lina, 33-1. It's going to have to go to her. I mean, the graphs, there's nothing to look at. This was a game that was abject of gold, a game that was abject of items. I mean, Armybots, if they have enough raw gold in their stash, they will buy items, but if they ever touch the base, it all turns into TP scrolls. So then you end up with a game that looks like this. Lycan in the laning stage picks up some basic items, Enigma grabs a glove, and then nothing happens for 20 minutes. Lycan finishes an armlet eventually. Enigma grabs you. Evoker grabs a Midas. See, here's the thing as well. If OpenAI wasn't as good in the lanes and didn't force the Dire heroes back to base and slash or kill them and make them respawn in the base, if these Midases had come out at, say, 8 minutes for the Dire side, both of these Midases, this would have been a completely different game. Thankfully, Lina forced the Invoker to base early, and Enigma, he was killed a couple times by Luna and CM. What a beautiful game. There's not that much to discuss, so I'm going to call it there. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the rest of this lower bracket run. Bye.